All right, let's talk about empathy. And no, I don't mean some fuzzy, feel-good concept. We're going to treat empathy as what it really is, one of the most powerful, strategic tools you can have for creating real, meaningful innovation. It's all about learning to see the world through someone else's eyes, so you can build things that actually matter. So let's dive in and see what's really going on beneath the surface.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Or at least we've seen it happen. So much time, so much money, so much energy poured into a project, only for it to land with a thud because it doesn't solve a real problem for anyone. It's an incredibly common frustration. And you know what? It almost always comes down to one thing: a failure to truly understand the very people you're trying to help. So the whole game is about making a fundamental shift in your thinking. You've got to move from designing for people, which is so often based on our own assumptions and getting hung up on features, to designing with people. That's a path built on deep understanding, a real focus on their actual needs. It's the difference between guessing and, well, knowing. To help us really get a handle on this, let's use a metaphor that I absolutely love: the iceberg. This image is perfect because it shows you all the different layers of human experience, and it points to where the most valuable insights are hiding. See, most of us only ever pay attention to what's floating above the water, but the real magic, the insights that change everything, they're all hiding right below the surface. This quote from a designer at IDEO just nails it. Before you even dare to think about solutions, you have to become obsessed with the problem. You gotta fall in love with it. That means you have to watch and listen and really try to understand with genuine curiosity. Your goal isn't just to make a product, it's to fix a frustration or to fulfill a dream or to make some little part of someone's life just a little bit easier. Okay, so let's start at the very top of our iceberg. This is the stuff that's easy to see. It's what people say. This is the explicit feedback you get from surveys, interviews, all that stuff. And yeah, it's valuable, but here's the trap. So many companies stop right here. They think this is the whole story. But it's not. It's not even close. It's just the tip. But things get really interesting when we dip just below the waterline. This is where we find what people actually do. Think about this. The creators of a project management tool asked users for feedback, and everyone said they were happy. Great. But when they actually watched them work, they saw dozens of people exporting data into spreadsheets every single day just to make their own custom charts. See, their actions were telling a completely different story than their words. They revealed a huge, unstated need for better reporting inside the app. That's a $1 million insight you'll never, ever find in a survey. And then you dive even deeper. And this, my friends, is where the real gold is. This is where you uncover what people feel, what they dream about, what they truly need. Often, it's stuff they can't even put into words themselves. We're talking about unspoken emotions, hidden needs, and deep-seated aspirations. This is where truly groundbreaking innovation is born. So that's the big idea. But how do you actually do this? How do you explore those depths without getting lost? Well, we can use a simple model to get more structured about it. It breaks down the search for insight into 3 distinct levels, helping us move from the super obvious stuff to the truly profound. But before we jump into that model, there's one key concept you absolutely have to get: tacit knowledge. You might even call this the holy grail of this kind of research. It's the stuff people just know how to do because they've been doing it for years. They can't write it down in a manual, and they probably can't even explain it to you clearly. Uncovering this know-how is how you find the real opportunities. So here's how the model breaks it down for us. At the surface level, we're using things like interviews to hear what people say and think. That gives us explicit knowledge. Then, at the intermediate level, we use observation to see what they actually do and use. That's observable knowledge. But to get to that deep level, to what they feel and dream, we need more immersive stuff, like co-design sessions, to uncover that really precious tacit and latent knowledge. All right, enough theory. Empathy is a muscle, right? You gotta use it. So let's get practical. Here are a few concrete techniques you can start using, like today, to gather those deeper insights. First up, shadowing. You literally just become a fly on the wall, watching someone go about their day without getting in the way. Second, narrative interviews. These are less about a strict list of questions and more about just listening to people's stories. And third, something called empathetic prototypes. This is where you create little experiments to let you actually feel a user's pain point or experience for yourself. Look, at the end of the day, all of these techniques are about one simple thing: moving from analyzing your user like they're just a set of data points on a spreadsheet to actually developing an immersive understanding. The goal is to feel their reality, their frustrations, and yeah, even their moments of joy. That's where real empathy starts. Okay, so now it's your turn. Because honestly, the only way to truly understand the power of all this stuff is to just do it. So let's bring this all home and talk about how you can apply these ideas to your own work. Seriously, take a second. Think about a project you're working on right now. What decisions did you make based only on what someone told you? Now, just imagine. What if you had spent some real time watching their behaviors, their little workarounds, their body language? What might you have discovered? What would be different? So here's a super simple task to get you started. Just pick someone, a customer, a coworker, a user, and just watch them for 15 minutes. No agenda, just pure observation. Jot down what you see and hear. And then at the end, ask yourself that really powerful question. What is the unspoken, latent need that's driving this behavior? This little exercise is your first step to seeing what's below the surface. Every single project, every product, every team has an iceberg. There's the stuff people say, and then there's everything else that goes unsaid. Your biggest opportunities are probably hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone who's curious enough to look a little deeper. So the only real question left is, what are you going to find?